Hi.
God is the source of all reality outside himself, that apart from God, everything else has been brought into being by God. All reality, whatever realms of reality you might think it exists, it would be all physical, concrete objects, it would be time and space themselves, it would be any realms of spiritual reality that you might believe exist, such as angels and other spiritual beings, Satan. And it would include any sort of abstract objects, if you think that those sorts of things exist.
Like mathematics, 2 plus
Yes,
2
like
equals 4. Or...
sets and numbers and propositions and so forth. God is the source of all propositions.
Hi. I hope it is a very good day for you. If there are any believers that happen to watch my video, have you ever wondered how God knows what you're doing? He doesn't have ears or eyes. Don't you worry. Dr. Craig will explain everything to you.
There are a variety of models that one could use to explain how God knows the future. God has innately the essential property of knowing only and all true propositions. And so the way he knows the future is not by looking ahead and seeing what's going to happen. It's simply by knowing the truth value of all propositions. He knows which are true and which are false. That includes future tense statements. And so by knowing the truth value of future tense statements, God knows what's going to happen. God doesn't determine the future. There is genuine free will of human beings, but that God knows what will happen in advance. So that God's knowledge, though chronologically prior to the event, is logically posterior to the event. God's knowledge doesn't determine the event. It's the event that determines what God foreknows. Now, in the case of foreknowledge, I don't think it's a causal relationship. It's not like our choices cause God to believe something, but it is rather that our choices determine how certain propositions are true or false, and God, being omniscient, knows only and all true propositions, and so, in that sense, his knowledge is logically posterior to our actions.
Apparently, God knows all true propositions. And from epistemology, we know, I will leave a link down there, that there is propositional knowledge, that is, you know all the facts, you know that such and such is the case.
Proposition is the information content of a declarative sentence. Take any declarative sentence, it expresses a certain information content. And the idea of omniscience is that there is no fact of the matter, there is no true information that this person does not know, and he believes no false proposition. So he would know only and all facts.
There is procedural knowledge. That means to know how to ride a bicycle, to know how to drive a car, and things like that.
There is another type of knowledge that we could call non-propositional knowledge. And this would be knowledge, for example, how to ride a bicycle, or how a watermelon tastes, or things of that sort.
There is personal knowledge. That means how Nixon feels or knows that he is Nixon, the President of the United States.
Omniscience is defined in terms of propositional knowledge, of knowing only and all truths, but not necessarily having all non-propositional knowledge. In fact, when you think about it, you'd be mentally ill if you had all non-propositional knowledge, because you would believe not only, for example, in my case, that I am Bill Craig, but I would believe I am Napoleon.
Apparently, God has only propositional knowledge. He knows all true propositions. He knows facts. He knows that such and such is the case. And he doesn't have any personal knowledge or procedural knowledge, because you have to be crazy to know all this.
Does God have to know what it's like to be Ronald Reagan? Well, no, only Ronald Reagan knows that. And if God believed he were Ronald Reagan, he would be mentally incompetent.
So his omniscience includes only propositional knowledge. But there is a problem here, because What does it mean to know only the facts and only that such and such is the case? That's what science is dealing with. Objective knowledge. Only what can be ascertained through human senses or through the technologies that we have. God doesn't need any technology, God doesn't need any senses, he just knows the propositions. But Dr. Craig himself has criticized the view that knowledge can be obtained only through facts, only through knowledge that such and such is the case. So, under his description, God is a verificationist. God is a scientism. God is a follower of scientism, and Dr. Craig criticizes that a lot.
It turned out that the verification principle is self-refuting.
That's how it could be understood. Do you make any sense of that? I don't. Bye.
God is the source of all propositions